Well, we'll be explaining a little bit what we're gonna be doing. So what we're doing here is doing a bypass signal. In this case, simulating the signal that is coming out of from the computer to control any ignition component in this case. But also we're simulating the signal from some sensors and sending that back to the computer. So in this case, we gotta be very careful because we don't want to be burning computers or burning any components. So my suggestion is do not use any jumper, directly wired, because how I do it all the time is, and I have never burned any computer, is using the test light. My test light is drawing about 300 milliamps. You can build your own test light out of from a little light bulb from the license plate illumination. So those bulbs are the same that the one my test light has. So basically, if the computer is sending 5 volts, we're gonna say to control this here on this Honda I have here. If I'm connected to battery positive, I'm sending 12 volts, but the computer only sends 5. Am I gonna damage anything? No, I won't, because my test light is absorbing the amperage, and it doesn't matter if that one say 12 volts. It won't burn the component for sure. It won't. I've been doing those for years. Okay, same thing, when I was doing the map sensor is sending max 0 to 5 volts, and I was sending 12 volts. And on my testing I'm doing here, is that gonna damage the computer? No, it won't. The computer is limiting inside the amount of current that one is gonna draw in the test light too. So we gotta make sure, we use a test light and do not use a jumper. If you use a jumper directly, you really gotta make sure more or 3 times, make sure what you're doing, because that's the point, when current is not limited. So we're not limiting the amount of amperage gonna be drawing that component when we jump it directly. So I just wanted to make sure, about that one, because it's a big difference using a jumper and using the test light. So hope it helps someone, but be careful with those testing. Using test light, I haven't burned anything. Okay, now I will be running. I will be connected here. You can see on, I don't know either which one I'm checking on. I think it's I believe it's the ignition coil 1. It doesn't matter, but we know pin number 4 is ground, pin 1 is battery positive, and we have 2 and 3 on the ignition coil, IGT and IGF, ignition trigger and ignition feedback. So the computer is sending the signal high voltage on the IGT, about 5 volts, and then when the spark occurs, there is a signal on the IGF. It's the pull down to ground, because the computer is sending 5 volts BIOS on it, and then when the sparks occur, that one is being pulled down to ground. The computer uses that one for fuel injectors. So whenever we have a bad IGF system, have a crappy working Toyota, on your vehicle's coil unplugged, if one of the coil fail and pull down the IGF, the vehicle doesn't even want to run. Okay, so at this point I will be providing, I will be connected with my test light on the positive side of the battery, and I will be doing touching the IGT. So that one will be creating the spark, and then we will be looking at the amp probe and analyzing the current ramp. Well, I have the test light here connected to a positive side. You can see here. So, and I have here down here a pin connected to the coil number 1 and the amp probe 2. And on the other end, I removed the wires so that we can see the spark. Every time I touched here, it should produce a spark. I don't want to hold it for too much time. Okay, so right now I will be going to inside. We're gonna be analyzing the current ramp. Well, I'm checking here on the picoscope, capture here by the time when I was producing, what, right there. You can see the current ramp here. I was holding for too much time the test light there, so it's kind of, it wouldn't look like a good quality current ramp, but it's still good. Maybe I'll show from other recording that I will have. I think this one probably will be kind of one of the best current ramp we will have here, maybe. How about this one? Nope, no, that one, no, it's not good. I hold it for too much time, the test light. But I think right here, this one was pretty good. Yes, this one was a good one. Right here, it's not that good, but it still occurred here. So if it will be shorter coil, we wouldn't see this kind of stuff here. Okay, I'll show it how a good one looks from other, you know, when the engine is running, because this one is just producing spark. We know the coil is good. It wouldn't produce a good spark, you know, if it is shorter. But maybe right here it may have one good. This is one of the most common causes when Toyota has issue with the IGF. Engine starting stall. I have the test light connected here to the computer controlled for the IGT, but because it doesn't have IGF, it doesn't even try to activate restarter. We don't see any light. This is my 22R Toyota 86 pickup with carburetor system, and I got here the test light connected to positive side. We're gonna check the light. Okay, so I have disconnected here that on the distributor, the connector here, that the one goes to the igniter, the ignition control module. And I can do either one here. Nothing is gonna happen if I touch the wrong wire, because that's why I'm using the test light. But if I connect it here, we can see how I'm producing the spark here. So I disconnected the wire here from the distributor cap, and I have it here grounded there, so we can see it. It can produce the spark every time I touch it here. Depends on how I increase it, how I touch it. I create a spark, the frequency how I touch this. Okay, this is a bypass, eliminating igniter, coil, and then at this time, you know, we are pretty much, we tested those systems, wires and everything.